I'm back with my next video of Sunday Stories, and today you must have seen the title. The title is Installment. This is yes, a comedy story, but it is actually a sarcasm on the lifestyle of people today. People today have great desires for materialistic things, a high standard of living. And to achieve that, to fulfill their desires of the materialistic things, they need to extend their resources which will help them fulfill their desires. And if they are not able to do so, we have many schemes today. Schemes: buy now, pay later. That is the installments. This is actually a story that I had read when I was young. The story's name was Never Never Nest. And today I'm telling because I came through such situations. I came to know about people who were actually in debt. In debt, D-E-B-T. We don't pronounce the B, it's in debt. They were, in great pressure of a lot of money to be given here and there. We call it karza in Hindi. So I came across, a family who was going through this problem, and I, was reminded of the story. Never Never Nest. What is a nest? A nest is a house that a bird makes out of the twigs, the thin sticks, the straw, the grass, whatever the bird can arrange for free. Even sometimes they carry wires, which they find here and there, and they are big architects. If you anytime get to see their nests so nicely and in an organized architectural thing it is, right? But they make their nest with all these things. Yes, their nest is definitely temporary. They migrate, and if they feel they are unsafe anywhere, they move to some other place. They make another nest there. But at least their nest is theirs. What does man do now? They want a big house, but their salary or whatever the resources that they have is not enough, so they take on easy EMIs. Easy EMIs provided by financial institutions and banks to tempt people to buy things and pay later. After buying the house, that is not enough. Let us see what all Jack and Jill do when they buy this house on easy EMIs. So this is a story about Jack and Jill, a couple, a very loving couple, but they want all the best things in their lives. A wonderful, magnificent house with all the luxuries in it. So after they get married, they buy a beautiful, magnificent house in a very posh locality. And because they have bought that house, it's a big, magnificent house, they need to fill it with all the luxurious furniture, the chandeliers. You need to ornament your house to make it look good, to match with the standard of living of people, of the place where you are living, plus the desires that you all have. So that is what they do. They buy the expensive furniture, good ornamental one, decorative one. Then they have a big refrigerator. They have a big, full screen television, so that it gives a you feel that you are there in the cinema hall, big home theater, and that loud music with all the woofer and everything. They bought that. They bought a car. Because if you are coming out of such a magnificent and big gala house, you need to be, going in a car, not in a public transport. That was their way of thinking. And yes, it is a sarcasm on the people of today, the modern man. So what happens is Aunt Jane wants to visit. She's the aunt of the couple and she wants to visit them because she wants to see whether the couple is happy after marriage or not. So she comes to their house to stay for a few days. And when she reaches at the given address, she is totally mesmerized by the beautiful, magnificent house and the nice posh locality in which they live. Anyway, she goes inside and the whole hall is full of ornamental furniture with beautiful, delicate chandeliers hanging, the light system, everything was so nice and automatic and so well. Everything seemed to be just like a dream house. Aunt Jane goes, she sits inside and she's very happy, but along with the happiness, she is a little perplexed and worried as to how they could manage these expensive things. Probably there was a lottery. She knew Jack was working in an office and he was earning not more than 7 to 8 pounds. How could he manage all this with such a, minimal salary? So anyways, but she, starts worrying about something else. In their marriage, she was the only one who had given a good sum of money in an envelope as a marriage gift. And that was 200 pounds. Now we should not calculate, pounds and all so much because this is an old story. So obviously the value of these pounds must be different at that time, but she had given a good amount of money. So, she starts worrying that was it that I gave the check was actually of 200 pounds or I had by mistake put another zero and make it 2000. So she started worrying, oh God, how much had I given? And if I had given just this, then who gave them such a lot of money? How did they manage to get such a big refrigerator, a beautiful house in an expensive area, and the furniture spoke that it was very expensive? She starts worrying, and when Jack goes off to office, she comes out to see him off, and she is again worried about the car that in which he goes, an expensive car. How could he manage all this? It had been just a few years, 2-3 years that they had got married, and he had achieved so much, which she had also been very well off, had not been able to do this much. So when Jack goes to office, Jill, the wife, is a housewife, she's a homemaker. She comes and sits inside with Jill and they start talking about their day-to-day life, what all they do, how they had managed all this, everything. And Jill, being a simple-minded, but yes, ambitious girl, she also wanted everything of good standard in her house. Very normally, she says everything was on easy EMIs. This worried Aunt Jane more. Aunt Jane was an old lady of, the primitive thinking that you should, buy whatever you want within the amount that you already have. You should not exceed your limit. Work according to the money that you have saved or that you earn. Not more than that. Right? Once in a while, yes. There are times when times are bad and for someone's medical treatment you have to give and you have to borrow on easy MIs or whatever, that can be understood. But the luxuries of life, the great standard of living, that is, totally out of that context. So, and she believed in cash down payment. If you have this much money, if anything cost, £1, then you should give the whole £1 and take that thing. At least that thing is yours. So when the wife says, and the wife does not know much about it, and she says, no, but it is on very, easy EMIs and we are paying all the installments. So this put Aunt Jane into a lot of worry. Anyway, she waits for Jack to come back, and in the evening she sits with him and talks to him about everything. She says, what was the cost of the house and why did you have to take on easy, EMIs? You could have rented a house. So he says, why should I rent one? If I rent a house and pay the rent of it every month, that is, I'm paying for the rented house. Right now, I'm paying easy installment of the house of which I am the owner. I have bought this house and now I'm paying the easy installments. So then again, she had this thing in mind that why then this expensive house? He could have bought a small house, right? And later on, after paying the installment of that house could have been sold for a good profit, and then a bigger house could have been bought, and that way they could have reached. Why in the beginning, Anyways, and then she talks about the car. So he says the car is also an easy installment. The refrigerator, the home theater system, everything, all the luxuries, the furniture, everything. So, she immediately gets up and she says, all right, this furniture is also on easy EMIs. I am not going to sit on it. She says, all right, how much have you paid for this and what was the cost of this furniture? He tells the amount and he says, right now, if I see the installment that I have paid for the sofa set, then I have paid for one leg of the entire furniture. One leg of a sofa, I own that. Rest, I'll keep paying. She says, all right, what about the car? What do you think? How much have you paid for the car? What can you say is yours in that car? He says the steering. He had paid that much. The steering cost it. This really perplexed Aunt Jane. She became very, very worried. And she was like, she just couldn't sit on the sofa. That was not theirs. She didn't want to go in the car, which did not actually belong to them. She becomes very worried. She does not want to stay in this house, which was not their house. It was somebody else's, either the banks or the financial institutions or whatever. The furniture also belonged right now to the bank because the bank was paying the installment and they were paying the bank. So then, everything she calculates, the EMIs she calculates, and she says, all right, then what is your salary? So he tells his salary, which was less than the monthly EMIs. She says, oh my God, how do you manage to do it? So he said, I have been managing up till now, but now I have to I am borrowing money from a financial institution to pay the EMIs, and then I'll pay them also. Again, she worries and she says, all right, even that will be, added up to in the monthly EMIs. You are increasing your EMIs. You don't earn that much. Why do you, want to stay in this house? Why have you pressurized? But he says it's not a pressure. I enjoy, at least we are living in this luxurious house, a good standard of living I am able to portray in front of people. And, he has a different way of thinking, both husband and wife. Aunt Jane was totally, she didn't like this way. She was very worried. And she, gets up and then she says that I don't want to stay here. I'm really very worried and I need to go back. I have some work, I have some commitments. She actually didn't want to stay in the house, which was not theirs. She did not want to sleep on the furniture, which was not theirs. She did not want to eat anything because everything was on EMIs, and she was very, very worried. They had a small baby. She blessed the baby, and she had brought, small earrings and all for the baby. Everything that she gave very lovingly. She said, see, this I had brought for the baby, and please keep this, and but I need to go back. So he says, all right, if you really need to go back, I'll drop you to the airport. So she says, no, I will not go in your car. The car doesn't belong to you. So she was like so worried that everything that they owned was on installments. And she didn't, after a lot of calculation, and she realized that even it would take more than 10 years for them to pay if they do not exceed this. So she was very worried, and she, she gets ready and she says, I have to go, and please call a taxi for me. So he says, all right, if you don't want to go in my car, I'll come with you in the taxi till the airport. So he calls for the taxi. Till then, Aunt Jane gets ready and she signs a check. She wants to help them. She's very worried about them. She signs a check and she gives it to the wife before leaving, and she says, at least give installment of at least one thing. Not the installment, the total amount of at least one thing. This is 2,000 pounds I am giving. Please own at least one thing. I can't help for everything because I am not so well off. Even I have not been able to accumulate this much that you people have done on installments. I'm giving this check to help you. You are the wife. Think judicially. Own one thing. Whatever you feel can come in this amount, and at least you will be able to say that, yes, this is mine. And she blesses and the child and the wife, and she leaves. On the way, she tells Jack, I have given a check, and please act judicially. Think, both of you think, and at least own one thing, either the furniture or anything else that you feel, your refrigerator, the home theater system, everything, the crockery, the plates they had eaten on, the silver plates, they were also everything was on installment, and she did not like this. So she tries to explain, and he thanks her, drops her to the airport, and when he comes back, he quickly rushes home. He calls the wife and says, I have plans of that 2,000 pounds that Aunt Jane has just left. Just don't worry. So, but till then, till this, the husband has reached the house, Jill has already paid 2,000 pounds for something. She had sent the check before he came. Do you know what she had sent the check for? Refrigerator, TV system, car, furniture, bed, plates? No. For the baby that they had bought the baby from Dr. Martin on installments. Do you think this type of living is actually good? Are we not going beyond our limits? We are getting tempted by the easy EMI offers that the banks and the financial institutions offer us. Do let me know how the story was. Think whether you should buy things on installments or not. We'll meet next Sunday. Till then, goodbye.